Good morning, everybody. It is about 7 a.m. and I am standing outside of a giant horse farm stable thing. It is about to rain, so I have my rain jacket on. You might be wondering, why in the world am I just standing outside at 7 in the morning in an up-and-coming rainstorm, which is pretty rare for Arizona, in front of some sort of horse stable out here in Scottsdale? And that is because today I'm coming to you all with the story of the Trojan War, which involves a horse. Now, it's like a little bit hard to see with my iPhone camera, but there is a horse statue behind me, and we are going to be talking about a horse statue that makes this horse statue look pretty pitiful in comparison. So, this story takes place about 5,000 years ago. It's an ancient Greek legend, but the story doesn't actually take place in ancient Greece. The story actually takes place in this city called Troy off the coast of Asia. So, thousands of years ago, we're talking before the inventions of any sort of guns or modern technology, people would fight wars with things like swords and also catapults and cannons, and that's how they would fight people back in those days. So we're talking about a lot of crazy hand-to-hand combat. So we have two teams. Our first side is ancient Greece. They are trying to invade Troy. The other side is the Trojans. Now, the Trojans had a really, really good defensive strategy, right? So they had this kingdom, and the way that they protected this kingdom was with these big, giant gates that wouldn't let anybody in, and these really, really big tower walls. You might be wondering, how high were these walls? And we actually don't know, but my guess is that they were probably something like, 6-7 stories. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. But anyway, I'll continue on. So they had these really, really high gates, and the Greeks just couldn't get over the walls. But the thing is, Troy couldn't really win either because they were having a hard time fighting the Greeks back from the really high walls, so the Greeks would not surrender. So for 10 long years, longer than some of you have been alive, this war kept going on, and it just kept on happening. Nobody could win. No side could gain any kind of advantage. But what the Trojans what the Greeks had that the Trojans did not was a really, really good, capable leader. This guy's name was Odysseus. And here's the thing, Odysseus was an amazing fighter, but not only was he really good with fighting with weapons, he used his best weapon of all, which was his mind. So Odysseus thought up a plan, and all these people went in on it. And he decided, why don't we pretend that we give up? Why don't we pretend to surrender? So we're gonna pretend that we give up and that the war is over. And we're gonna pretend to get in our boats and sail away and go back to Greece where we came from. And we're gonna leave them this really strange parting gift. And that is where the horse, again, kind of seen behind me, comes in. They decide to build this gigantic horse. We're talking like almost as tall as these walls. It is massive. But it's not just any ordinary horse that they're leaving as a parting gift for the Trojans. Oh no. They decide that they're going to fit 30 of their best soldiers inside of this horse. So that is what they do. They build this horse and they put 30 people inside of it waiting to strike. And the Trojans completely fall for it. They actually see this horse. They really think that the Greeks have sailed off. They take the horse, they bring it inside to keep as a trophy, and they spend that whole night feasting on their finest foods, and then they go to bed exhausted. And when they all fall asleep, all those 30 men go creeping outside of the horse, and that is when they strike, and they take down the Trojans from within, winning the war and being on their way to victory. And that, my friends, is the story of the Trojan Horse and how a 10-year war finally came to an end. All right, I gotta go before it actually starts raining, but I'll see you all next time.